We're going to talk to Andrea Potter, who's the chef of Radha. Andrea.
Hi.
How you doing? Tell us about Radha and the food behind Radha.
So Radha is actually a non-profit organization. It has yoga and food coming together. It's about whole body and soul nourishment, basically. So that's where like the healthy, organic, vegan food comes in. The Swami describes it as sattvic. So it's cleansing, it's uplifting, it's light. It's good for you overall. It not only tastes good, but it really is good. Like, there's a lot of processes that we go through, such as soaking the nuts and grains, that increase nutritional availability. I'm actually a student at a nutrition school, so I'm really interested in having those things available to people, and also at a reasonable price. It just seems impossible to find it anywhere else, so I'm just like, this is what this place is about, finding really good quality, clean food in the city. So, we do a variety. We do cooked foods and raw foods. We have raw food specials every week. So the raw foodies come in and there's something new to see every week. The cooked foods, we have seasonal menus. So they're changing based on whatever we have available. And there's some kind of traditional things like a veggie burger and like a steam bowl and steam veg bowl and stuff like that. Rice bowls. But right now we have on the menu something like, because it's summer, we have paella, or we have like a cornbread and tempeh dish, or different raw salads. We have local specials as well, because local food is something we're also really trying to incorporate more of. So we're moving away from having food that comes from far, far away and more into having food that comes from our backyard.
In terms of like, were you trained as like a classical chef?
Yeah, actually I went through like 2 years of culinary training and apprenticeship in Alberta, and then I went off to Europe and I was training there in the UK for a year. And then I came back here and I was working for Rob Feeney's place, and he was the Iron Chef, so I was really starstruck and excited about it, and that turned out to be a nightmare. So that's when I kind of like came to my center, and it's been here.
And how do you find cooking vegan foods? Basically, I'm saying that because you've got a background of classical cooking, including meat and fish and all that, and now you're cooking solely vegan foods. Yeah. How do you find that?
It feels really good, actually. It's a whole new thing for me, and I had to learn a lot about nutrition and a lot about just different ways that certain flavors can be achieved without using any animal products. A lot about like getting the full benefit of the vegetable, like roasting vegetables and stuff like that to get that the really deep flavor. And it's made me a much better cook, and it's also, it just changed my perception on food.
So Andrea, being now a sole kind of vegan cook, do you find the palette of ingredients you have available to you now, do you find them, how do you find them? Does that increase your ability to cook a wide range of foods now in comparison to how you used to cook in your old days of training?
Yeah, I feel really fortunate to be in Vancouver, and also to, of course, have vegan food training now, and that a huge variety of foods that I now have in my diet all the time and that I cook with, I didn't know what they were 2 years ago. Someone said tempeh to me 2 years ago, I would be like, excuse me? And how many different kinds of lentils there actually are, and different methods of producing the food. It's not just about, there's grilling and braising and some similar things, but there's just like a huge variety of methods of cooking food as well. I've learned a lot about fermenting, which is really cool, and I teach cooking classes on that. We've just really, it's really broadened my horizons as a cook. Other ingredients like miso, for example, or some of the Asian ingredients, or fresh coconuts I'd never had before. So now I know how to incorporate them into food, and it's been exciting. Yeah.
So Andrea, tell us about the type of people who visit Radha Eatery.
So our typical customer, and we've been doing surveys, so we're getting a little bit clearer picture, as I'm usually back in the kitchen, so I don't see them. Our typical customer is vegetarian, not necessarily vegan, but people who have an appreciation for vegetables obviously come here. And a lot of them have been bringing omnivore friends. Some omnivores come on their own, like just really like having a vegetarian meal sometimes. And the thing I like about Radha is that it's very inclusive. Like the vegan food is pretty much everyone can have it. We're also really sensitive to people's allergies. And I mean, some of the top allergies are animal foods anyhow, like eggs, for example. So that's automatically out. But we also don't use wheat flour in our baking. We don't use peanuts, for example. So we're very available to like a wide group of people for everybody to have something and everybody to like it.
How important is the presentation of the food?
Presentation's pretty key, actually. And as I said, I came from a fine dining background, so I just bring that with me. Like your eyes feast first, right? So yeah, it has a very fine dining kind of element, but like a more casual atmosphere. So it's not you can wear whatever you like kind of thing, and everybody's coming, and there's families coming, and so on. But it's just really nicely presented.
So Andrea, tell us, are you a one-woman super chef, or have you got other helpers back behind there?
Actually, they're not just helpers, they're really integral to the whole running of it. Yeah. And that's another thing that I love about here is that every staff member is really integral in everything from like menu planning to how the menu looks and how we serve the food. So what we actually do for seasonal menus, for example, we have all of the chefs and the servers, if they want to suggest things or have ideas that the customers want, we all get together and have a brainstorm, and we have a list of ingredients that are seasonal in front of us. This is what's available locally, and then we make menus around that. And my job is to filter out the ideas and have it kind of composed into something that makes sense. So writing the menu and testing the items. So it's really a group process, and this kitchen is also not like anything I've worked before. It's not in a hierarchical kind of system. So there's not, the dishwasher on the bottom and the sous chef and then the chef. It's very well rounded, and certain people take on different areas of responsibility. My title as chef is just so that people kind of understand that they can come to me if they have questions about the eatery, and that I help things kind of keep in smooth running. But yeah, it's definitely not a one-person show. It's definitely a team effort. Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Yeah. I've read Radha as part of the Green Table Network. Tell us what Green Table Network is.
So the Green Table Network is a network that certifies different establishments, or restaurants in particular, in the city about who's doing very environmentally conscious or socially conscious kind of practices. And Radha has rated really high on their list, and it's growing. So there's different restaurants. You can go onto the Green Table website and see which restaurants are there. So if you want, you're more into conscious eating, you want ethical choices being made, you don't want styrofoam takeout containers, you care about that kind of thing, it shows you that you can come to these kinds of restaurants, and Radha's proud to be one of them.